Hello Soul Family, this is a pick a card reading that I have done using my very new deck that I'm about to publish called the Star Guides Reminders. And so in this reading you will see this deck very much in use and receive guidance on the evolution of your consciousness. So this is all about your path, your own spiritual path, and evolving and ascending on it. Once this deck is out in the public, I will be sure to let my newsletter subscribers know first. So if you are curious about this deck and when to get it and where, you will want to make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter, so you will be getting the best offer for it and you will be able to buy it first, okay? And if you are new to the channel, my readings do work more like energy transmissions, so keep that in mind. Take a few deep breaths after reading and take some time to integrate, because these are very potent energy transmissions, and I wouldn't say that lightly if it wasn't so. I sure do remember how incredible these readings felt after I had done them. So without further ado, let's get ready for the reading. Take a few deep breaths in and out. So let's do this. But I guess I want to do like just a little sample reading, just so you can see how the cards shuffle. They shuffle beautifully. And we can do like just a small, quick little pick a card activation here for your next evolutionary step. Guidance for our next stage in your evolution, in your spiritual process. Okay? Some of these are pretty high level messages. So that's what I gotta give a bit of a fair warning for. Okay? Well, not a warning, but for some of you that's going to be very important to know. Let's do like a pick-up pile. That one there. Let's say this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And you can pick your card now. And I will sort of freeze the screen so that you can pick one. Alright, pile number 1. That is on the bottom. Ooh. Alright. First of all, I will move those ones aside so we don't get all mixed up. So your cards and your activations come from the cards Solar System Shifts and Express the True You. No need to hide behind those wounds. And if I've already got these messages up on my blog, I will put them down below. And what this is saying to me is that underneath the surface, that's how I usually read the bottom of the deck. It's like underneath the surface, we've got this wounded healer energy, and we've got this need to release and heal your wounds in order to really accelerate your ascension, to really accelerate your path, and in order to tune in to the solar system shifts. And there's constantly energetic shifts coming through our solar system. And because of this, hold on. These solar system shifts tend to come from the galactic center, from other galaxies such as Andromeda, other stars like Sirius, Pleiades, well, that's usually people speak about the Great Central Sun as the Alcyone, which is the center of the Pleiades. It's one of the biggest stars there. And there's also plenty of other ones, so like Orion, like I said, Andromeda. I've also been tuning into the Cetusian whale and dolphin energy a lot recently. That seems to be just pouring through, even through this reading. And today it has been very relevant for the energies that I've personally been tuning into. Might be very relevant for you as well, and it came up in the Star Family Gathering. Hyades, and then there's like this golden gate between Hyades and Pleiades, so that's something for some of you. Basically, you want to dive into this solar system shifts on your own as well. You want to see what's coming through for you, for when it comes to the energies that are coming into the solar system and what you are here to help with. What are you helping integrate into our entire solar system and our galaxy, okay? Because our galaxy is going through this shift as well. And our galaxy is that one sort of pathway through which, especially the galactic center, from which these frequencies reach our side of this galaxy of Milky Way. So for when it comes to the solar system, the sun is the main transmitter of the energies that come to Earth, to Earth's heart, right? Because in this picture, if you can see, there is a little Earth over here, and there's a little light there, and so there's plenty of little sparkles and stars and little things there. So the sun is shining those frequencies through, and same goes with all the other planets. All of the planets in our entire solar system are ascending with us. Okay, so it's not just it's not just planet Earth, it's not just the sun, but it's also all of the other planets. And on some kind of a level, this is relevant for you. This could also relate to astrology, so maybe there's some aspects in astrology that you are either using to ascend, some transits that are really beneficial for your ascension. Certain astrological timelines may be collapsing and shifting around. And there could be some planetary medicine that you could be getting from our solar system. So you might be dealing with, you might be tapping into higher frequencies of these planets, and that may also kind of shift. So if you, let's say you're being, reading astrology, you might be really changing up the meanings of what you're reading because of the energies. They are ascending, they are starting to calibrate into their higher frequencies. And so this is kind of the main message here. But remember, what I find really interesting is this. I originally created this card for Chiron, for diving into Chiron, and this specific stone here is Orgonite. And for when it comes to Orgonite, it helps create a life force, or perhaps, well, not just create, but optimize and just really work greatly with your life force. So this points me into the direction of using the right use of light force, potentially, yes. And especially for when it comes to healing. So there's something that needs to heal there. Maybe on your healing path, you're going to need to really start to pay attention to how you can direct your life force towards the healed version of you, and the areas of your life that need that healing the most. So just remember that there could be sort of like a shadow effect of your wounds that are coming up to the surface, either due to the solar system shifts, or in order for the solar system shifts to be realized, there's a wounded or shadowy aspect of yourself that needs to go through a certain healing process. So it is sort of acting as a veil, so to speak, but you are starting to see through the veil. I hope this activation was sufficient and helped you out. Moving on to pile number 2. And for our pile number 2, we've got at the bottom of the deck we got a light. Oh dear, that's right. You are just beaming light. Okay, so this is the top card. Be the beam of light in that space. So this is very, first it seemed very straightforward, but actually when I think about this, this card, the bottom card, which is, usually I read the bottom of the deck as kind of like a shadow or kind of like a background energy, if that makes sense. And what this says to me, there might be some side of the light, the concept of light. This article already is on my blog, so I'll share that. Actually, both of them I think are. So I'll share those articles for you, but also another message, another activation that's coming through for you is understanding just the true nature of light. So not just thinking of it in a stereotypical way or in the way that a lot of light workers, a lot of the spiritual people, a lot of the love and light people are talking about, but understanding maybe the uncomfortable sides of light. Okay, so this what this is really. Yeah, so this like very intuitive images that I create, and as you can see, the word light is on a bit of a darker coloration, a darker galaxy pattern here. And so what that is saying is that, first of all, the light is bringing things out of the dark, and especially when you shine the light into places that have been in the dark, that have been hiding for whoever knows how long, it might bring up different challenging emotions, challenging even experiences into your life. Because as we know, in our experience, in our interactions, when we go out and about in the world, we see and we start to see things that we need to be working through. We need to neutralize. We need to either clear, heal, expand, grow, do things with. The universe is constantly giving us tools. And this deck is one of them. You know, if you feel drawn and you want to use this in your light work on your path, do so. I would highly recommend. And another thing, okay, let's move into the main message. It is this message is coming for you. If you have felt a call to really take yourself out there as a light worker, and to really take yourself, it's very much focused on going out there. That's the message, and the activation that's coming through here. Whether that's online, whether that's in person, what I'm getting here though most is spatial and physical, out and about in the world, especially in places that may be a little bit out of your comfort zone. Of course, I'm not speaking about going into dangerous situations, but if there's something that you'll be maybe wanting to do or something that you're kind of curious about, and you kind of just really, you feel a little bit of resistance, you're kind of, I don't know, what if they judge me, what if they blah blah blah, how about no, I will just stay home. Like, if this sounds like you, if that sounded like you, no doubt here. Okay, do not doubt yourself. I mean, I can't tell you what to do anyway, but I would encourage you to perhaps process where those doubts are coming from. Do the shadow work in regards to it. So even though we're saying light here, or both of these cards are very light focused, it comes into shadow work as well. And I encourage you to, yes, be the beam of light wherever you go. Bringing the truth, bringing the transparency, the authenticity, who you really are, the truest potential of what is to come in each situation. Okay, so if there are situations where the highest good of all cannot be put to use, where it cannot come about, you want to try and find solutions to make different choices, to make different outcomes. Okay, so you want to focus on the highest timelines on all situations, and the ability to transmute these things into pure light and into pure love. And for you, the light is very a relevant point of consideration on your path right now. This is something that's just going to, activate you on a higher level. And I do feel that especially the solar light and other stellar lights that you might be tuning into. Different qualities of light. Perhaps there is an exploration of different qualities of light in your life right now. Maybe that's something that you're diving into, and I've definitely done that. Like I've different is that a word? I've dove into many kinds of light on my path, and I would recommend you maybe play around with that idea, right? Because we don't need to be so serious. We can just play around with this and kind of see and feel where we are drawn to, because that's also right. Sometimes we need to explore a little bit more, and we need to feel into things before we make our final decision. And perhaps that's something that you're going to be experiencing right now. You're kind of trying these different things out, trying these different qualities of light, and also qualifying your lights. That's another thing that just came about. So perhaps you then start to strengthen, fortify, and qualify the aspects of light that you want to bring about, especially when you go out there. And we go out there and you be that beam of light in that space, right? So you want to work around this, not just work around this, but you want to kind of work with this. You want to explore these ideas, these suggestions, what I just said here, what I have brought to you. And thank you for listening. If you want to get the deck, Star Guides reminders, I will let you know once it's available. And you can sign up to my newsletter to get more information as to when it's available. Thank you for listening. Moving on to pile number 3. Oh dear. Hello. We got a thick message, a thick activation. We got first of all reality collapse as the main message, the top card, and then on the bottom of the deck, which I kind of read as more like a background energy, more like maybe a little bit shadowy message, is new paradigm creations ask for new rules. This is a total new card that I made for this deck, actually, by the way. So some of these are very new, actually. But the message that, oh dear, you are going through a massive transformation, or are about to experience a massive transformation. And the key message is to lean into that. Freaking lean into this transformation. Because, oh dear, I'm getting almost, my eyes are watering, because there's something that's really touching about this frequency. The reality collapse is speaking through me, okay? So there's an aspect of your reality that I'm, first of all, personally not sure how, for some of you this might come through in very different ways. For some of you this might be a positive reality collapse, so a negative reality is about to end and you're getting a very beautiful transformation from that. So almost like from the cocoon you're being the goo, and then this reality collapse is allowing you to burst out as a butterfly. But then there's also another way that this could come about. This could come about in a way where perhaps something that was negative or something that was challenging is coming to an end, and it doesn't feel so good. So one example would be like a breakup, for example. So you might be experiencing or about to go through that, if that's something that, like, maybe you've been going through a challenge in a relationship and you are then this relationship ends, and it's happening for the greater good, but at the moment it doesn't, and even for a while it may not feel that good. But the key here is, whatever the situation is, whatever realities are collapsing, this could also have something to do with just the societal sort of conditioning. something you have maybe framed your reality a certain way up to this point, but now you're being shown that there's always more, and that what you thought was real, what you thought was very solid, is collapsing completely, and that's what is coming through as the message. But the ultimate, the new creation, your new paradigm, which is a much higher level. Like this always happens when we evolve, when we ascend. We get a much higher caliber, much higher quality threshold, if that makes sense. Or like our next level is always so much better than the previous one. And this is what's happening in your reality. But you might be struggling with this new rules aspect. You might be struggling with accepting a better way. You might be struggling with knowing that a new way of being even exists. Okay, so this is for some of you that have been dealing with a lot of traumas all your life, and it's something that I used to really relate to. So be sure that I empathize with that reality, and just know that there's a higher reality for you. Maybe that's why this is bringing tears to my eyes, because this is something that's almost like, I know this is not just for me, but this is something that I have experienced. Okay, so when you start to ascend and evolve and grow on your path, you will start to have to adapt to the rules of this new reality. And you have to know where you are able to break the rules. But the first consideration always is, what are the rules of the new reality? Does it require me or us to break the rules of our old reality? Because usually it does. Usually it means that we kind of discard the old rules and we buy an entirely new book that we create from. And then that's the key, we are creating the new. And some of you might be having some challenges with that, but you totally what does feel like it's activating here is this beautiful brand new reality that feels like it's from another life entirely. Like it's like you almost might feel like you haven't lived a life where that could happen, or that it's almost feels impossible right now. But the immediate, this is what you might feel immediately, like the reality collapse. And the old reality, it's collapsing. This sort of very much is giving off tower energy. It's very much, it's giving off tower and card and star card at the same time. From which the magician is taking his wand, or her, or their, or their wand, and just waving it. Very, what is the word I'm looking for? Not just intentionally, but like precisely. There's a word that I'm looking for. Maybe you will be able to feel that word. But the magician knows exactly this subtle frequencies and nuances that happen in the vibrational waves that they're creating, that they're about to, embark upon. It's like this, like I'm seeing these, I'm almost getting like a vision of these very tiny waves. It's almost very similar to this card. Well, I will have to zoom in, but it's like these very tiny waves that are kind of just like, they're very thin, and I don't know, soft, if that's the right word, but like they're starting to weave and create this reality and flow into form in a way where you have to be very present. And that's another word that's coming through. Like you're going to have to be very present with yourself, not just in the now moment, but in the 0 point, in your creator state. And the same thing here, almost with all of these readings, qualifying your life force and qualifying your light has been also one thing that has been coming up through these readings. So that will be also something for you to explore. Be very intentional, be very mindful and present in your process right now, and focus on creating the new. And so while you are focusing on that, on creating the new, what I'm getting here is that it might sometimes feel a little bit hard when your old reality is collapsing, to focus in on the new. And so you want to be present enough so that you'll know what's going away, and do not get too caught up in it. Okay, of course, do not suppress things, do not repress things, do not push it away, but just be gently present. It's like gently holding space for that experience in that moment, and just allow it to flow. Okay, so when it starts to, like, it might feel heavy at that state, but then just focus in your heart space. Call forth light in order to release and clear the old reality. Call forth the light to show you what is the new way, how is this going to transform, and how are you going to be able to navigate it. And always this one helpful tip: ask for only your next step immediately. Like, what's your immediate next step? Do not ask for the whole path ahead. Okay, well, you can if you want to. I'm not stopping you, but you might want to only ask for the next step, because that is going to keep it very nice and simple for you. And then you take the next step and the next step and the next step. Okay, and it doesn't need to be overwhelming. And then as you start to create this new form for a new reality, you will get new instruction. Okay, but this is your most immediate guidance for this. Okay, hang in tight. You will be able to make it through and create just a beautiful reality that's just coming through so hard. It's something that might be even hard to expect. Okay, and you'll be able to enjoy that whenever it comes about. But just understand what the truth is, understand what the highest potential outcomes are, and understand what higher timelines require in terms to create creation dynamics. Okay, higher creations are coming through the heart. They're coming through our higher levels, so higher self, oversoul, all that stuff, I am presence, right, and the source consciousness, and on whatever you believe in. And they are not coming from traumas, they are not coming from wounds, they are not coming from our hardships. Okay, and that doesn't mean that our hardships don't have any role in our lives, or that they're completely meaningless. It's another conversation for another time. It doesn't mean that our hardships are evil. Okay, it's just a part of the human experience. But when we start to create a new paradigm, we create it from the pure light dynamics and from the new light dynamics. Okay, so this is your activation. Thank you for listening. And as I have said a few times, once this deck comes available, it will be linked in the description, and I will of course make a proper announcement, but I hope you enjoyed this sample. That was a beautiful activation. Okay, honestly I feel like yeah, okay, enough about me. That was a beautiful activational reading, and who knows, maybe I'll do this in the future, because this was awesome. And I will see you again in my next video. If you want to see more videos on all kinds of spiritual topics, I do focus more on healing and the sort of work itself and the spiritual topics and esoteric conversations on this channel. So if you want to see more videos of that kind, subscribe. And if I make more readings like this, who knows, maybe I will. And you can find all of my other content in the description below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Stay cute.